Hey folks, hello and happy Friday to you. Trying to recall that I said I was going to put up a video every day or as often as I could, so here I am again. And I got one of my other guitars, another Harley Benton. This is their gold top with P-90s. I think it was a GT P-90, something along those lines. This one is I got it at the same time as the tele copy in the last video. Um, let's see. Well, you can actually still see some reflection. This thing's been in the case, so it doesn't have quite as much dust on it. But here's some of the specs on it. It is a reportedly basswood body, Canadian maple neck. It does have a comfort cut, which makes it kind of nice, kind of like that. Um, and it is basically a traditional early gold top from the 50s of Gibson, more or less. Saying that, if I recall, this one as well has a 12-inch radius fretboard. I think they said it was ivory, or it might be maybe an African poison wood or something like that, or possibly ebony. It's very, very dark. Um, and it's got the trapezoid inlays, makes it look kind of nice. And in general, it looks and plays quite a bit like a Gibson. It's got binding on the single layer there, which I guess would equate it to what a Les Paul standard, something along those lines. Uh, Now, on the good side and the downside, I forget if I don't think I ever did open this thing up. There again, I just played this thing with the high action that it's got, which I'll show in a minute. And I played it quite a bit before I started playing the telly, as my put me to sleep, play guitar until 2 o'clock in the morning type of things. But there's a few things when it showed up, I was like, it plays, but I wish they'd have done better. One of the things is pickup selector. The switch is kind of funky. It's got the wobbles. They shipped it with the knob on. Maybe that got jammed up a little bit. It works all right, but I'm going to replace it. The pickups sound good. They're the Roswell pickups that Harley Benton uses. It's got a Nashville style, not an ABR1. It uses the inserts that you can see down there. So it's a Nashville style bridge. It's got the typical Gibson style stop, the tailpiece there. It's got more or less period correct knobs on it, and a few things other, let's see, that are kind of funky is this screw right there. It's too big for the countersink that they put in there. It sticks out. Don't know if you can hear that, but it sticks out. Gonna replace that. Um, Another thing is I was disappointed when I saw the fretwork on this thing. The edges, yeah, sure, they could use polishing. This was, I think, $140, $150 at the time of purchase. Doesn't feel terrible. There's no sprout or anything. It's all bound on either side of the neck. So there's no sprout or anything, but could definitely use some rounding and polishing. On the downside is that it appears to me that there might have been a back bow on this neck when it got to the fret leveling station over there in China. Pretty sure both these guitars were China. I took most of the stickers off. This one still has a couple, the European Consumer Electronics thing and the quality control. Get those off one of these days when I get them on the bench. But the action, let's see if I can get this. Let's see, the action could be a lot better, and it will be a lot better. But take a look at some of these frets. Really should. I'll have to get some close-ups when I get this on the bench, so you can see they filed the tops flat on quite a few frets in the middle of the fretboard, which leads me to believe that they had a back bow on this and they were getting buzzed, so they just went and took a fret file to this, and they used the longboard to just plane it down, and then never crowned it. They might have cleaned up the edges a little bit with some fine sandpaper, but like I said, this thing plays. It doesn't buzz anywhere, but this one I've got to go completely through, and probably at some point I'm going to end up refretting this, because some of these frets, they've took off at least a quarter of the fret material. If they would have done it right, there'd be more fret available. But there's enough that I can crown this and get this working right. So this is one of the other guitars that I'm going to be doing in upcoming videos. And kind of pretty, in my mind. It's got a real decent gold finish on it. It is finished to look a bit like mahogany all back here. So, you know, for 150 bucks, it's got a little bit of weight to it. Lighter than a lot of Les Pauls. Heavier than, yeah, I can't even say that. I don't think it's heavier than most Les Pauls that I've run across. But that's another one of the projects. I'll do a playing video of each of these before I start working on every one of the guitars. I've got a couple other electrics right now that I'm going to do. One is a Squier Affinity, and I've got an Ibanez RG that I need to dig out of mothballs and do a bunch of work to. Probably going to replace the trem on that, because the trim that came on it was a 300 series, 370 or something. And at the time, I was banging the hell out of a trem bar, and that thing just wasn't taking it very well at all. Haven't played that thing in probably 10 years. It's been sitting in a case back on the other end of the house. So that's that for now. Another one of the guitars that are going to go on the bench, and I'm going to do as much detail. I'll spec out everything. We'll pull the pickups out, take a look at what they are, take the readings on them for the resistance on each of the pickups. I'll break out my SLR and see if we can't get some close-ups, put the macro attachment on it to look at things before and after, and work on everything else that needs to get worked on all these guitars that I'm going to work on. And I'm going to pick up some other stuff. I kind of specialize in lower-end guitars, budget musician type of stuff. Getting a cheap guitar, like maybe a Squier or cheaper, a Glary, or some of the other stuff that's out there. Sub $500 guitars for sure. I think even back in 03 or 04 when I bought that RG, I think I only paid $300 or $400 for it and spent another $100 for the hardshell case. But in general, I just don't spend a ton of money on stuff. And you know, at some point I might spend a little bit more. I've spent as much or more. I've got a looper pedal that I bought. I bought an RC3 last year or the year before for myself for Christmas. It cost more than this guitar. I think it was 170 bucks. So things that really need to be, you know, expensive, and I want the features out of, I'll spend the money on it. But as far as real expensive amps, probably never. I'm never going gigging again. And I can do so much with modeling and build myself a small Class A or a push-pull amp that I could do recording on with a DI, and come up with some IRs inside the software to emulate cabinets. So, you know, don't really see the need for spending, you know, $3 or $4 grand on an amp, because I'm just not out there doing it. Don't have the want or need to go out and haul equipment all over the place and do the gigging. Anyhow, I went long on this. I might need to cut this down a little. We'll see. But I think for now, I'll just end this and post this. So be well and go do good, folks. And have yourself a great weekend. Until the next time, we'll see you.